So the three of us went to see the Rebbe, myself, my ex-wife, and her father, my father-in-law, and Mr. Ratner, Maurice Ratner. Before, when we were waiting there, they came up to me and said, they told me I should write out a note for the Rebbe, some requests, and I told them I have no requests, and I have nothing I want from the Rebbe. I was just here to facilitate my wife and helping her in, and other than that, I was just a bystander. I'd be sitting in the back, so there was no need for me to write anything. They were very, very insistent that I couldn't go in unless I wrote something.
So, with that ultimatum, I just said, if God's so great, why does he insist on all these tiny details? Why can't he skip? And that's all. That's the only question I had. And just because he told me I had to write something, and it always did bother me that if God was so great, why was he stuck with all these tiny details? And it seemed to upset him if we missed one. And if you used a meat spoon and cottage cheese, you have to go bury it and pull your hair out. And so I could never get that. It really was beyond me. So that's basically what I was asking the Rebbe, is what all the angst was about. And then he turned to me and said, I don't understand your question. So I thought it was pretty forthright. So I started to say it in Yiddish, thinking maybe he had difficulty with English. And he stopped me, put his hand up. And he said, it's not for God, it's for us. And I could see, little brothers, God wants us close to him, and this is the path he gives us. It's like he gave a path, and he said, if you follow this path, you'll find me. And it's not that if you don't follow this path, I'm going to blind you or I'll hurt you. Just the opposite. I want you to come close. And here I'm giving you a path, a means in which you can find this proximity, this closeness with me. It was a very radical thought to me. I had never ever seen Judaism in that light. It was always focused on what was forbidden and the consequences of doing what's forbidden. It was in yeshiva, it was the way everything was taught, with the slap, with the hit, and you're no good, and Ozvorf. So I had more than my field of Judaism, but this really intrigued me. And I was very taken. I felt as though I was in a dark room and someone had opened up a light.
Then he went again, spiritual dimension. That was precious and happy.
Does that interview contradict the notion that God needs your mitzvahs?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. He was in a dark room, and it's like somebody turned on the light. What was he so impressed with? I mean, what did the Rebbe say that inspired him? I like the way he remembers the word Eisvorf. That one stuck with him. What the Rebbe said? The Rebbe basically said to him, in answer to his question, what's with the hang-up on all these little details? The Rebbe said to him, because the Rebbe still wants you close. This is how you get close. That's exactly true. But it is so refreshingly new to most people who were raised with Frumkeit. Not even Yiddishkeit, just Frumkeit. That this is not some kind of a test or some kind of a nisayon. If you pass, you win. If you fail, you go. It's much more personal than that. That's exactly right. And nobody suspected that. Which is very sad. It's like a father disciplining his kid, and the kid doesn't understand. And the father says, I love you. Oh! Well, that changes everything. Sure does. But that's what the Rebbe said to him. Now really, his question could have been taken a little differently. Or maybe he doesn't remember how he worded it. How can the Eibishter, who is so big, be concerned with such little things? Does this answer the question? Not really. Although you can say, when you love somebody, when you really care about somebody, it expresses itself in all the tiny things. If you like somebody, you share important stuff, but the little details are not important enough to pay attention to. But when you love somebody, the little stuff becomes big stuff. That's the nature of love. But to the question itself, how is the Eibishter, who is so big, how does he really care about things that are so small? Like putting a milchik, a spoon into a whatever. The real answer is, it's because the Eibishter is so big that he can care about small things. That's the real definition of infinity. Infinite doesn't mean infinitely big, because that's a limitation. True infinity means nothing is too big and nothing is too small. So when we say big and small, you're not talking about the Eibishter. To a human being who is finite, some things are too big, some things are too small. I can't be bothered. Not because I'm smart, but because I'm limited. The Eibishter is unlimited. Little things just as important as big things, and big things can be just as insignificant as little things. But when he does care about little things, he cares about it infinitely. That's a sobering thought. So if he was asking, how does something big relate to something small, that would be the right answer. So he wasn't asking that. He was really saying, you're getting on my nerves. Stop bugging me about little things. To that, the answer is, not bugging you, he wants you. And this is how you can get close to him. So, to say it's for you sometimes implies he doesn't need it, it's all for you. It's not what it means. It's all for you means it's all in order to have you. So when people say it's all for you, the mitzvah is for you, it doesn't mean he doesn't care. That doesn't make any sense. I'm doing this for you, so I don't care. If I'm doing it for you, then I care. So what does it mean I'm doing it for you? I'm doing it in order to have you. I'm sharing something important and intimate to me so that by your doing it, you become connected to me. That makes sense. That's inspiring. That's meaningful. So he was right. He went from a dark room into the light. Everything suddenly made sense to him.